A bill that could ban TikTok has stalled in the Senate. But major concerns remain over the app's ownership. You see, 60% of the platform is owned by global investors like BlackRock, but a notable 20% is owned by its founders, Chinese-based ByteDance. But divesting a company like TikTok is going to come with serious challenges, including the Chinese government's potential involvement, the sheer size of the company, and the likely legal challenges. But if the app sticks around in the U.S., of course, security concerns are still a huge question.
Why wouldn't you just sell?
The bill is 12 pages long. We have looked at it. It is not feasible to do whatever the bill thinks it does.
Does the Chinese government have influence over TikTok?
This is about the algorithm, sir, and that can't change with the data.
Over TikTok, yes or no?
He doesn't want to answer. Here to discuss is president of the Government Accountability Institute and author of BloodMoney, about China and its influence, Peter Schweizer. Peter, thanks so much for being here. The subtitle of your book is Why the Powerful Turn a Blind Eye While China Kills Americans. Why is this bill stalling in the Senate? TikTok's got to have a lot of lobbyists, right? They're buying a lot of support. What do you assess from this situation?
Yeah, you're right, Pete. They do have a lot of lobbyists. They have several former U.S. senators that are on the payroll. They have former senior campaign advisors, both for Presidents Trump and Obama. And you have these large American investors, including Jeff Yass, who owns a large stake. And they are throwing a lot of money into this. The thing everybody has to keep in mind with these American investors you were talking about, the Chinese law is clear. If these investors disparage or criticize ByteDance, their shares can be seized and taken away from them. So we should not really, I would argue, take the word of what these investors are saying, because the Chinese government has them over a barrel, and they can't be honest, frankly, about their views of the company because they risk losing all their shares.
So China really is calling the shots on this ultimately, has control over. So you saw the overwhelming vote in the House. Overwhelmingly it was passed out, either divest or you're banned. Do you think there's enough common sense or ability to fight back against that Chinese influence in the Senate to pass it on that side?
Well, I sure hope so, Pete, because, look, let's be honest about ByteDance. ByteDance is a company that is joined at the hip to the Chinese Ministry of State Security. They do joint research together on artificial intelligence. The Chinese government has designated the TikTok algorithm as a state secret. This is not just a company proprietary information. It is a state secret. And as I lay out in BloodMoney, I quote extensively from Chinese propaganda officials, military officials. They view TikTok as a Trojan horse, and they lay out in great detail how they are already using it to manipulate and drive young people in what they think and what they feel. So this is a form of what China calls cognitive warfare. If we can't deal with this problem, I don't see how we can deal with anything. The notion that a company that works closely with the Ministry of State Security is giving unfettered access to our children and we can't do something about it, we might as well give it up if we can't pass a bill like this.
So interesting. When you see last-minute changes in people's perspective, is that China saying, hey, we're going to pony up a lot of money to certain people to defend us here because we're over a barrel? It really is survival for ByteDance.
Well, it is survival, but let's remember, Pete, this is forcing the sale of ByteDance. They're all going to make money because there's a lot of interest that companies would have in acquiring this asset. So it's not like they're losing it. We're simply saying, hey, look, a foreign hostile power company that is joined to the hip with the government cannot have unfettered access to our young people. China doesn't allow that. A lot of European countries have problems with it. India has already banned TikTok, as has other countries. So this is not a radical departure. And the investors, the American investors and the Chinese investors, would be made whole. They would make money on this deal. The reason they don't want to end this is they don't want to give up the control and the access to our kids.
Yes. Well, Peter Schweizer, you wrote the book on it. The book is BloodMoney, Why the Powerful Turn a Blind Eye While China kills Americans. Peter Schweizer, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Pete.